Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday, September 2nd. I'm going to let you look at a debate from our Vice President Biden running against our president, and also one with President Trump, and also something that he gave out today. I'll just read it to you. Remarks by President Trump in press briefing. That was at August the 31st, 2020. The president says, "Thank you very much. I'd like to begin by saying we've just closed out another month of stock market. We had the best stock market, Dow, in 36 years. That's very impressive. So people are very happy with their 401ks and with the stocks that they have. And that's a tremendous achievement, best in 36 years. Let me begin with a brief update on the China virus. Over the last month, our new cases in the United States have declined by 38%. Last week, we announced a breakthrough in testing that will allow us to have over 150 million rapid point-of-care tests. These tests return results in less than 15 minutes, and many will be deployed to nursing homes. We're focusing very strongly on nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and other locations that serve high-risk populations. So we're going to have that 15-minute and less test, and we will have 150 million rapid point-of-care tests. That's something. This evening, I am pleased to announce that AstraZeneca vaccine has reached phase 3 clinical trials. So that's joining another group of vaccines that are very close to the end and hopefully approval. In the United States, we're doing the things that nobody thought would have been even possible. This is a process that would have taken, in some cases, years, and we did it in a matter of months. Thanks to the efforts of Operation Warp Speed, we remain on track to deliver a vaccine very rapidly in record time. I also wanted to provide an update on left-wing political violence that we're seeing in Democrat-run cities. Under my administration, federal law enforcement is working with states and local authorities all over the country to comb through hours of video, track down rioters, looters, arsonists, and bring them to justice. We've just come up with a report that we've arrested a large number of people. It's over 200, and you'll be hearing about that. But they've been arrested in various cities throughout the United States. Good. We're doing it very in low key, but we're trying to help cities. They all, in all cases, Democrat run, but we're doing the best we can to help them without really much of a consent. We'd like to have the consent as an example to Portland. We could solve the problem in approximately 1 hour, but the mayor refuses, perhaps for political reasons. I don't know why it's good for him to have a city that's falling apart and that's under siege now for 94 days. But really, it's been under siege for years, if you know Portland. So to the mayor, I say, whenever you're ready, let us know. We'll solve your problem of violence. We'll solve your problems of crime. We'll arrest those criminals very rapidly, and you'll be able to have some nice evenings in Portland. The Department of Homeland Security and Department of Justice are announcing a joint operations center to investigate the violent left-wing civil unrest. And again, Portland alone, the federal government has already taken care of and arrested 100 rioters just in that one city. The wave of violence and destruction that we've seen in recent weeks and months has occurred in cities exclusively controlled and dominated by the Joe Biden party. If you took a look, the top 10 in the country are Democrats. It's Democrat-run cities, and it's a shame, and it can be solved so easy. It can be solved very easily. Now, I want to stop right there for a minute and say my family has always been Democrat. I was a Democrat for years. But my opinion, in the last couple of years anyway, it has changed. The complete Democratic Party has completely changed. And that's to me. I would never, ever consent to abortion up to the time of birth. Ever. If a woman gets raped or something, she can immediately go out and get an abortion. Don't wait until the ninth month to do so. Women should know better than to do that. That is murder, in my opinion. That's murder. In God's opinion, that's murder. Okay, I said my opinion. The violence is fueled by dangerous rhetoric from far left politicians that demonize our nation and demonize our police. We have to allow our police to do what they're very good at doing. We've taken the power away. They're afraid to lose their pensions, their jobs, their everything. They're afraid to be destroyed. You saw this when left-wing extremists attacked law-abiding citizens attending the Republican National Convention at the White House, including Senator Rand Paul and his wonderful wife Kelly. What they went through, but other people went through it too. And that was done very systematically. That was done on purpose. They knew we were having the convention and they wanted to do everything they could to disrupt it. And the good news is the public is very wise to it. They see what's happening and they are wise to it. And I think they are probably acting accordingly. Left-winger rioters are repeatingly the same false narrative about America that you hear about you hear this from people. What's they're saying, how they're saying it, the violence, it's terrible. And again, it's Democratic politicians. I don't know that they're spurring it on or they're afraid to stop it. But in any event, we're there to help. We're there to get things under control. What they did on Thursday night at the White House, just outside of the White House, to people that came from all over the world is a disgrace. It's a disgrace. And frankly, the mayor, Democrat Mayor Bowser, should have done a better job. She did a very poor job. But at the same time, we have had the police who were very brave. They helped Rand. I guess it started off with 2, and then they took a beating, if you can believe this. They really took some heavy hits. One went down but got right up, and 2 others joined them, and they were able to get Rand and Kelly through. But it was terrible, terrible things to witness. But other people went through similar, not to the extent in terms of tapping. We don't have taping, but we don't have the tapes as strong, but some people went through, from what I heard, as bad or worse. The violent rioters share Biden's same talking points, and they share his same agenda for our nation. And even his strange speech today that he made in Pittsburgh, he didn't mention the fact, and he didn't mention the far left, and he didn't mention the far left, or from what I saw. I don't believe he mentioned the word Antifa. Antifa is a criminal organization, and he didn't mention Antifa thugs, but mostly seemed to blame the police and law enforcement. He went on point after point after point. He even talked about those on the right, but he didn't talk about those on the left, and those on the left are the problem, and Antifa is the problem. The rioters and Joe Biden have a side. They're both on the side of the radical left, and that is so obvious. And until that neutralizes, you're never going to have safe areas in those Democratic-run areas. For months, Joe Biden has given moral aid and comfort to the vandals, repeating the monstrous lies that these were peaceful protests. They're not peaceful protests. That's anarchy. You look at the agitators. You look at the looters. You look at the rioters. That's not a peaceful protest. They keep using the term, it's so nice, peaceful protest. And behind the reporter, the cities are burning. We could solve it very quickly if they ask us to come in, like we did in Minneapolis and like we did in Wisconsin, where I'll be going tomorrow. And at least the governor asked me if I could. We would. I said, you got to get the National Guard. And he finally agreed to even a small number. But they were able to take care of things. And that was about 5 days ago, 6 days ago. And ever since, it's been very good. 13 members of Biden's campaign staff donated to bail and rioters. They're getting them out of jail. Looters, they got them out of jail. And his running mate, Kamala, urged their supporters to do the same thing. It's outrageous that they're now seeking to shift the blame for the mayhem, and they really want to put it on the backs of the police. I see it. The police are. There's just a war on law enforcement in this country. And without law enforcement, we wouldn't have a country. We have very talented people. They're not allowed to do their job. If you give the radical left power, what you're seeing in the Democrat-run cities will be brought to every city in this country. If they have that power, every city in this country could be potentially another Portland or another Chicago, where they've had such problems. To defeat them, we just jail lawbreakers, and we must defeat their hateful ideology about this country, about America. We must teach our children that America is an exceptional, free, and just nation worth defending, preserving, and protecting. And that's what we want to do. They want to destroy our country. They're going to destroy our suburbs. But I think I've gone a long way from allowing that to happen. The suburbs are protected, especially with the rule changes that I made. I took them out of the Obama administration. They were going to be made much worse. When we're witnessing today is a result of left-wing indoctrination, our nation's schools and universities. Many young Americans have been fed lies about America being a wicked nation plagued by racism. Instead, Joe Biden and his party spent their entire convention spreading this hateful and destructive message while refusing to say one word about the violence. They didn't even discuss law enforcement, the police. Those words weren't mentioned. Two words that were taken out of the words, under God, under God. Two very important words in the Pledge of Allegiance. In their caucus, I guess they did it twice. They took it out of the Pledge of Allegiance. I heard it the one time, and I said, that's strange. What's that? That's a big. I tell you, it figured. They maybe made a mistake. Something happened. No, they didn't make a mistake. Then they did it later on. So they took the word, essentially, took the word God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. We're not talking the word God out of anything. We're not taking it out of our Pledge of Allegiance, and we're not taking the great word God out of anything. At our convention, we highlighted law enforcement heroes and repeatedly emphasized that violence has no place in America, politically discourse. The left's war on police, faith, history, and American values is tearing our country apart, which is what they want. They think it's good, but it's gotten out of control. They're unable to control this radical left crazy movement. Now, this keeps going on and on. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I will leave a link. Wow, I'm glad I'm not reading the whole thing. Look how long this is. And they've got questions. Okay. Now then, we're going to go over here to a full speech from Biden.
And they will find the way. Give people light. Those are words for our time. The current president has cloaked American darkness for much too long. Too much anger, too much fear, too much division. Here and now, I give you my word. If you entrust me with the presidency, I will draw on the best of us, not the worst. I'll be an ally of the light, not the darkness. It's time for us, for we the people, to come together. And make no mistake, united we can and will overcome this season of darkness in America. We'll choose hope over fear, facts over fiction, fairness over privilege. I'm a proud Democrat.
While others talked about criminal justice reform, President Trump actually signed the First Step Act.
All right.
And I'll be proud to carry the banner of our party into the general election. So it's with great honor and humility, I accept this nomination for President of the United States of America.
Okay. Now here's Trump's speech in North Carolina.
Of American freedom. It's a big day. It's a great triumph, a great country, and our country is greater than ever before. That's what's happening. That's what it is. It's a greater military than we've ever had before. We're deeply moved to be joined this afternoon by World War II veterans, all of whom I've met. All of whom are tough. I don't want to mess around with any of them, I'll tell you right now. whose blood, sweat, grit, courage, and unfailing devotion made that epic victory possible. These brave Americans raced into the fires of hell to vanquish tyranny, dethrone fascism, and defend the American way of life. You've earned the eternal and undying gratitude of all Americans, and that's why I'm here today. I wanted to be with you. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? We had a good time at the right over at the Oval Office, Congressional Medal of Honor. We're privileged to be joined as well by veterans from every generation, including a number of wounded warriors. We stand in awe of your service. I can say that. So respect, so love. This afternoon, my administration is formally recognizing the city's exceptional contributions to victory in the Second World War. It is my tremendous honor to officially designate Wilmington, North Carolina, as our nation's very first World War II heritage city. That's a big deal. Our nation's very first. Congratulations to you all.
Back to Biden here.
Export clean water to every community with 5 million new. They're the places where we come from, many of you come from.
Oh,
It's where
well.
we're raised.
I guess we'll just stop it right there. That was Biden and Trump. And you see the difference in their rallies and their speeches and everything. I just wanted to put a little video up, so that's what I done. Have a great week. Bye.